I'm in a stationary position right now. I'm gonna stand up though. You can go ahead and tell me that I'm inadequate. You can tell me that I don't matter. You can do all that. That's totally fine. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me a little, to be honest, but I mean, what else is new? That's okay. You can tell me I'm inadequate and that I don't matter, but I think you matter. I think everyone matters, at least a little bit, unless you're a jerk or evil. If you're evil, you don't matter. I wanted to make this video because it's like 7 something in the morning. I'm standing in an empty parking lot. There's somebody across the parking lot. Up to no good. As I told you, I think Schaumburg is like a horrible place. And everything is horrible today. And you can judge me all you want. You can look at me when I'm walking with contempt. It's fine. I'm gonna try to like get normal today and just be normal. And maybe somebody will drive up here and then there'll be entertainment. Look at how beat down I look. My black eye. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I feel like I'm doing my best. I have nothing, really, at all. I have very little. It's not that I have nothing. I have most. I have some things. I have faith, though, that everything will be okay. And that hope springs eternal. And I'm going to finish my album this week. It's at that point in the process where it's like in the oven. It's like a souffle, you know. An album is like a souffle if you're working on it. And if you leave it in too long, it's ruined, and the whole thing's ruined. In fact, you can master an album. You can be at the point of mastering an album, and if you master it poorly, the whole thing sucks. I've had that happen. I have albums in my canon, as they say. I'm totally sorry about being negative about 2 minutes ago. But I have albums in my canon which have been ruined in that process, in my opinion. You know, maybe people like them. There's one album in particular. Okay, there's one album in particular of the Dolphin Lions. It's called The Rats Are Coming, The Werewolves Are Here. It was released in 1999. That album got ruined at the end of the process. It was pretty good, and there's some good songs on that album. But man, if I could go back in time, I would have spent more time on it. And we ran out of money, see, because we were in the studio when we did that. And we had like $5,000, I think it was. Yeah, $5,000 to record it, which is not, I mean, an incredible, it was 1999 money, so maybe that's like a little more money than like 2025 money. Is it? Is that right? Yeah, yeah. And, hello. So in 2025 money, $5,000 is like what, $10,000? I don't fucking know. So we like got to the point, it started out so great. The early songs, I don't listen to that album, The Rats Are Coming, The Werewolves Are Here. There's some good songs on it, I think. Some pretty quality songs for being a kid when I wrote those, like in my 20s, mid-20s. But man, it got ruined at the end of the process because we ran out of money. I'm not blaming anybody. There was one person in the band in particular who couldn't play their instrument very well. And I offered to play the instrument, and she was like, no. But that album is fairly good. It's uneven though. I would give it like a 2.5 stars. If I had to like rate Dolphin Line's album, like if I did like if I was like Pitchfork or some stupid thing like that, like I would give like The Rats Are Coming, The Werewolves Are Here maybe a 4.2. The best Dolphin Line's album as far as ratings are concerned for me, Song Cyclops Volume 1. Song Cyclops Volume 1 is definitely the best Dolphin Line's album. I love how like when Jay Mascisat got asked, he was like doing some press for an album in the 90s. And you know how every artist says their most recent album is their best album. And they asked him, so what is your best album? He's like, You're Living All Over Me, definitely. Which was an album that had come out like 15 years before. Which I loved. I love that. The best Dolphin Line's album is Song Cyclops Volume 1. And I think I said this in the last video. There's a song that's gone viral. It's still being played like every day, like 100 times a day or 200 times a day, which is a lot for me. Charles Starkweather versus Sasquatch, which is the first song on that album. I get people that look at me, dude, everybody does this now, right? I'm wearing a turtleneck. I wanted to show off my physique. You know, like when you work out as much as I do now, this is the only thing I really do with my life at the moment. And work and do things like that, but I do 200 push-ups a day, and I do 2-minute planks. So I do 4 2-minute planks and 200 push-ups a day. 4 sets of 2-minute planks and 200 push-ups a day. And my godfather was like, "Dude, you're totally obsessed." I don't know. I get into modes where I'll like eat a lot, get really fat, which if you've ever seen Dolphin Line's pictures, I do all this fluctuation of weight, but now I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm like kind of ripped, which is cool. I want to look like a superhero. I want to make a movie or something, a Dolphin Line's movie or something, or like a Greek mythology type thing. I think I was saying this. It's not. I don't do this for like. I do it a little bit for, so people look at me, but the main reason I do it is because I want to like look like Hercules or Achilles or something. But the best Dolphin Line's album, Song Cyclops Volume 1, for sure. I can tell you a story about that album. I can tell you a few stories. I recorded that in my apartment in the living room at Camelot Village in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is still there. In fact, I just recently saw in the news, it was like over the summer, maybe spring, it got totally flooded. It was built in a floodplain, and I was on the second floor. It was K4 was the apartment, so I called the album, or I said recorded at Camelot Kingsford. It's the Camelot sound, I called it, and it was. There was also, it has a weird sound to it. It has a wobbly sound, the album, because there was yarn in the gears of the tape, so it would move, like it wouldn't like spin in a normal way. And at first I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. But then I was like, fuck it, I'll just use this to my advantage. If you're ever recording and you have limitations in your recording, use it to your advantage. Just say, oh, it's a part of it. I meant to do that, you know. What else could I say? I'm working on my new album. It's called Wizard of Oswald. I'm very close to being done, but like I said, it's a souffle. And it's in the oven. And I don't know. I could ruin it. Like I was saying, it could be ruined at this point, but I don't know. There's a song called Athenite Flowers. It says, drink deep from the chalice. It's kind of like a Lou Rawls song. It sounds like Lou Rawls to me. Like if when Lou Rawls did disco, you guys ever heard what is the song? I never met someone like you before. Like Lou Rawls is like hugely influential to me. I don't know if you guys like him at all. Dude had like the best baritone voice. I have a tenor voice, but he has a baritone voice. The production on those 70s disco records are like pretty awesome. I could tell you a quick story. I was going to tell this story. So, nah, I don't want to tell that. Anyway, I don't know how long I've been on here. 10 minutes. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing okay. I feel so much better than when I started. I was so like not happy about everything. Not that I'm like in a like bad place. I just get like, I don't know, do you guys get like super mad all the time? Not mad, I shouldn't say that. I get like a little frustrated. I think it's from the push-ups. A lot of testosterone coursing through my veins. If you go outside and you get vitamin D, you know, sun, that's a testosterone builder. I don't use supplements for sure. Can't afford them. I wouldn't do them anyway. And I think doing push-ups and doing like that kind of exercise, maybe. Although I'm very peaceful most of the time. I'm like a sensitive dude. I'm writing lyrics right now. I'm almost done with my album. I hope it turns out okay. What I hear in my head is so nice. And the songs I have done that you may have heard if you're a fan or if you like listening are fairly good. Kind of like a spiritual disco type stuff with harmonies and like Beach Boys. So if the Beach Boys did Here Comes the Night, but it was produced by like, I don't know, somebody good. The disco Beach Boys version is really bad. They should have worked on that a little more. What is a good crossover band that did disco really well? Bee Gees obviously is the best. Bee Gees like did it so well people think they were a disco band. They were not. They were like a Beatles type, Australian Beatles type band. If you ever heard their early stuff, like Massachusetts. Oh my gosh, have you ever heard the early Bee Gees albums? They're beautiful. I like the disco Beach Boys or Bee Gees as well. So I'm sitting here with the turtleneck on, trying to not be depressed, walking around with a tight shirt. I used to be so fat. Have you seen like old pictures of me though? So I'm proud of myself that I did this. I got to this point. I have like 13 or 14% body fat, and Arnold Schwarzenegger had 9. I looked this up. I'm getting so obsessed with this. I'm still working on it though. I want to look like a leaner Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like Reg Park is who I'd like to look like, but much leaner, you know. Oh my God, I'm getting so obsessed with this stuff. I'll probably stop. I might go play guitar. I'll go record right now. I might make a video later. I'll tell you a story about Billy Corgan later. I have a funny story about Billy Corgan. Back in the old days, in the early 90s, in Chicago, everybody knew each other in music. So I knew Billy Corgan. Not really well, but I'll tell the story now. It's pretty funny. I didn't know him very well, but actually, you know what? I'll save it because no one will get to this point in the video. I'll wait. Stay tuned. I will tell you the funniest Billy Corgan story that every time I tell it, people don't believe it. It's pretty funny. He was a very nice guy, though. That's what I will tell you too. He was a really nice guy, sweet guy. When I knew him, he was very nice. He was tall. He had long hair. I remember when I met Billy Corgan when I was 17. And he was probably 22. And I remember thinking the first time I met him, he was friends of a friend. He was friends with my drummer. He grew up with my drummer at the time of my first band when I was 17. And I remember thinking about Billy Corgan. He looks like a rock star. I remember thinking because I did not look like a rock star. I was a chubby little short guy, like an emo guy with a shaved head. Billy Corgan looked like a total rock star. He had long hair. He wore like beads and shit. And I was like, there's something about him. He's probably going to be famous. I didn't think that, actually. I just thought he was a nice guy, and he looked good. He was a good-looking guy. Anyway, on that note, Billy Corgan being a good-looking guy, and me not so much. God bless everyone. Thank you so much for listening to me, and peace out.